Hello, everyone. I'm going to do a critique here, but as you've probably seen if you watch the channel, I mean, I have a lot of videos. Some of them I posted, like the titles, like the one the mouse is over. Some of these are videos I did. I was doing something or uh, ding level 5, level 4, and then I was like, well, I don't need to do a video every time I ding a level, but some of the stuff I did I don't know, years ago, like I've said before, as far as like what I posted on the original channel. Some people may know that. I mainly did slot cars and models or whatever electronics, some stuff. But for the P99 stuff, back in live, like you either could or you couldn't record it. So it's kind of like, hey, I played it back then and in my spare time, well, aside from doing videos on YouTube for the new channel, but maybe a year or two after YouTube existed, I mean, everybody knew it was coming. But I have a bunch of videos here that I haven't picked through because it takes a while, like everybody knows, and it's not that there's no pressure. But my web browser is, well, I call it Opera, but I might have called it Opera or something. I think that's what it is, Opera. Like if you look at how it's spelled. Opera. Uh, anyway, this video here, I was on my Shadow Knight. I was in a group here. Before this, I was solo in the entrance. I was level 30 here. So, to look at the video, which I posted this, the puller was running wherever they were pulling, and then I pulled if you watch the video. But the reason I bring it up is Cynical here. I'll give him a shout out. Not that he needs one, but hey, everybody needs something. You know, uh, he plays EverQuest and has other games as well, Gems of War and some of the other stuff. But his last video right here, he was running through. Let me pause this and get. Well, I could. Well, I don't know. It's his ad. Let me pause this here. All right. His latest video was he's on his 60 Necromancer. And he's going through the dungeon to show people, the whole thing, because, a 60 could go through there. I mean, you could still die, but if you're careful enough, you got, when you're in these dungeons, you can't, most people that play the game know, I mean, you could get dead at any minute. But I bring that up because, well, I don't know, he's a popular channel, but there's plenty of people, like the Peak in 99 that I mentioned. I don't know if they still play the game. They probably do. Like a year ago, he was on a shaman, which, when I was or wasn't playing, I was watching them or whatever they were doing. But he has some Velcator's raids recorded that he did on, well, Green or whatever server he's on. So, my enchanter, let me get that video up, is in. I thought I had them all open. I guess it took the. Right here, this group. My enchanters, I ran him over to Velcator's. I was going to attempt to, solo a couple spiders if no one's in there. I didn't know if people were in there. I mean, you can search it, right? But there's some things that I saw that I did wrong in this group. Like after the second death, like I probably shouldn't have tried to mez, what was it, the golem that got me killed. I'm not making a big deal about it. I mean, the cleric, we had an awesome group. Uh, I think she jumped off the edge and committed suicide or something at the end of it, or maybe they didn't mean to fall. I didn't mean to stress them out. I, was getting tired, and I think I was sitting there buffing myself. I should have been slow in these golem, but I think I had Boltrons loaded. I saw that somebody asked me about Kintas, but I got 2 resists. I tried to, well, 3, I think it was. Uh, I tried to root it just to get away, to give her a break because she's trying to keep me up. But that's, a difference between the right spells or the wrong ones, or maybe I'm missing ones. I think Tepid Deeds is the researched one or a dropped one that I needed. That's like the in between the level 12 slow and the level 44 one. I noticed with the group, the DPS, like by the time I would go to slow some, I'd get Tash off into things at half health. I was like, well, I'll just switch to haste and haste the 3 melee and not worry about the slow. I was thinking about, okay, mana regen, some of them were casters, that'll help. And, I didn't have a stun, but I did use my mez. I could switch out to a faster root. I mean, it's all kinds of things, right? But when you're used to solo and it's like, all right, I can use a less mana spell and sit there and, in a way, be lazy or not be lazy. Another channel I'll mention, and the reason I mention this is I'm level 30 on my Shadow Knight here. Now, granted, there's easier places to solo, right? Although I've done this camp on my Enchanter. Enchanters, I have less worry about if something goes bad because, I can mez 5 things and, pick a fight with anything if I want to. But an Enchanter shouldn't be trying to charm or mez a yellow. I mean, you'll get a resist. I mean, it's guaranteed. But that's level 57, I think that'll go away. Maybe 55, it'll be less because, some of the yellow might be an even con and might get less resist. I don't know. I mean, max charisma at that point, I mean, it doesn't really. I mean, it might help with some things, but it's not going to make that much of a difference. But I didn't mean to ramble about it. But in this video here, let's see. Like right here in this spot here. Like I can kill these two. One's a blue, one's a green, or sometimes they're both green, or sometimes they're both blue. Like the warder, I think dispels. After these were killed a couple times after where I cut the one video and I said, hey, I'll just dad camp these and get level 31 and that'd make it a little bit easier down there. And I didn't really want to use my pet anyway, face tanking those. But having 2 at once, it's like a level 33 basically. I didn't have Feign Death on the bar at one time. I mean, it's little things you learn, right? Going from different classes, but I had killed these maybe for, I don't know, an hour or so after that. And I ended up getting 2 pages spawn. Both of them were blue, dark blue, and they both heal. I tried to Feign Death pull, but, first thing, dispel, and, it messes you up to try to Feign Death it off. But, I bring this up because I'm in Kazakh Thule, right? A lot of these people deserve credit because they show hard things like classic EverQuest here. He's in Kazakh Thule, which he's probably been in there many times, right? I'm going to pause this again because I don't monetize my channel. They do. All right, he's in Kazakh Thule, right? He's currently, this is Quorum, which the struggle's no different, but what he has in his gear or his spellbook, he's higher level. He's 10 levels up, right? Same situation in Kazakh Thule, he's just deeper in. This is the camp that I was doing with my Enchanter. And I had a Druid help me, and there was an SK, I think, that tried to help me too. Or maybe it was the Druid. He logged on his SK, I can't remember. But you get 2 healers, even an Enchanter. I mean, these things assist each other. I mean, it's built for a group or a raid. But he's got a lot of videos too. So, like, the EverQuest content's endless. But some of these guys have a really good demeanor and sense of humor, and watching their videos, they're solo and harder stuff, or they're probably doing the same thing that I'm doing or anybody else. They played then or they didn't. Maybe they were 10 years old or something 20 some years ago, but they're doing it to record it. But I hate to say but because it makes you feel like anything you said before it was irrelevant. So I'll say however. But after maybe a 3 hour AFK, I thought I had logged out or I meant to log out. I went to make coffee. I had died, which I haven't shown this video. But when I came back to my corpse, I think these might have been guild members when I had asked in guild. I had to step away from the computer because I was doing something else. And well, I had died anyway, and I was like, well, nobody responded right away. Not that I expected them to, but I was like, all right, well, I didn't really check to see who was on. I mean, most of the time, you come to Kazakh Thule, you either bring a group, you come prepared, or you didn't. By the time I came over here on my warrior or my enchanter or anybody else, other than a few times as lobies, like because somebody started an ogre or they were a troll or something like that. But we got ported around because other co-workers or friends had already played the game in alpha, beta, pre-beta, that kind of thing. So they already had a heads up when it went to the public as buy it off the shelf and all that. But they had sent me a text or a chat, which you'd probably see maybe in the video, but I'm not trying to call anybody out. I'm not sure. Uh, I didn't notice it until maybe an hour after they had sent it or whatever. So I apologize to those people. I got taken away doing other stuff, but they had sent me because I have tell boxes pop up on some of my characters. Some characters I don't, but they might have been irritated because they were like, "We came to help you, whatever." And I was like, "Oh well, maybe they thought I needed help getting my body or something." Which, where I was, I didn't. But I appreciate the group. I had grouped with them, and we got help. I helped them get their bodies, and I had to get my body because I popped into the entrance, and well, these people were there. So, I guess this enchanter died, or the shaman died or somebody died. I don't know. Something happened with whatever they were doing. I was over in Agok when I zoned in from my death, there was like a dwarf warrior. I guess he was killing guards, and I hit him with the heal spell. I want to say Shadow Compact, but it's not. The one on the SK is weaker. It only gives them like 30 hit points or something. But I blew pretty much my health bar doing that, helping him heal because I was like, well, I'll sit here for a minute and work a couple spell skills and heal him quicker, and he can go back to beating up ogres, I guess, or whatever. But we chatted a little bit. It was kind of funny. Most of these people I don't know in game, just like the online EverQuest, but if they still play, that's great. If they don't, I mean, real life, kids and all that stuff, where they just stopped making videos. I just post it because, and I'm talking about it because, well, whether it's Quorum or P99 or uh, a live version, there's plenty of EQ on the internet. And there's always probably going to be more, but some of the stuff I soloed back then, or I had a trio ad, maybe I spent more money on it than I should have, but what else you gonna do when you work all day and come home and that's, your life, right? Gotta have your alternate persona or something, but I don't know. There was plenty of marriages back then. People would get married in real life from meeting in the game, and then they'd have a little wedding, all that stuff, in a game, because, it's real life people. But let's scrub through this video a little bit. Like, he and I were, this shaman and I grouped, and I was doing okay. But I had went AFK for several hours here. I thought I had logged out, and I didn't, because, stupid me. I'd made some coffee and then I got to doing other stuff. But we grouped for maybe 30 or 40 minutes, but when we went down to the camp, I was confused by this druid here for a second because I had been away. This guy, I guess, had been down here maybe doing these, him and that enchanter. I think these were the people that were waiting on me. And I apologized to him. I wasn't even looking at the computer. Uh, but by the time I come back, we got her body. But she was higher level, and she'd already cleared the tunnel. So I wasn't sure if it was her camp or what was going on. So I was talking to him, and we were wondering, you know, what they were doing because she had cleared out the whole hall, maybe to help us. I don't know. Didn't know what was going on. I'm not making a big deal about it. I had said something to him. I'm like, well, is it her camp or I was thinking this in my head, and then I don't know. Maybe she was killing all the crocs in the pond because well she could do it. If I figured, well, okay, if they were doing it, I would talk to her. But I'd never even said a tell. But she had grouped. And gave us buffs, and I don't know. Then she left. I guess I don't know. They went away, but we had. I don't know if it was just confusion or what. We were sitting here. We had already killed some of the respawns. I don't know if he stepped away. He stepped away, and I was medding, getting health, and I had said, okay, I'm going to go see if anything's up, and I'll pull. I'll bring him back to you. I made an incoming key, and all this stuff. Well, when I came back, he had two coming with me. I don't know if he set, they repopped on him or if he drug them. I don't know. It was like without slow or haste or any of that. I mean, that's a lot for a 27 shaman, and I felt bad. He and I both died. I went and drug his corpse back up to the room, where I said I would solo those two before you jump down because I had invis and all that. But I don't know if he lost his level or not. But uh, he logged and I logged. I was like, well, if I see you again, grouping with a shaman, I'm down with it, or an enchanter or anybody, as long as they don't mind grinding it out. I guess I'm looking at the Crocs as just an XP camp, and there's not a lot of loot, so I'm not gonna have to worry about going and selling. I just want to get well, 2 or 3 levels out of it, and then I can go over to Najina again or somewhere else and maybe kill a named and try to upgrade my rings because my Shadow Knight, I'll log him on. Let me pause this here because this is all. Well, I talked to some of these people, at least on their YouTube or in game. Like Cynical was over there doing Najina, and I happened to be in there. I was recording, just saying, well, I'll show the camp. Other people have shown the camp, that kind of thing. But it's a nice place to get level 30. And then if you don't want to do the named, well, you can get 34 or 39 and then go back in there. You're already familiar with the place. Some of that stuff is blue. Like on my channel, I showed the video of me doing Wrathful. I had to feign death. But if you wanted to look at a 60 doing it, like I could take my 54 Enchanter in there and do the same thing that Cynical or Varric or any of these other people might have done just to show the zone because, well, you're not going to take a level 20 through a dungeon and live unless you're in Viz. Like, you do take risks, but this camp's not. It's not terribly risky. Wreck-It Rogue on Quorum when I was leveling over there was on his mage killing those crocodiles. That's why I say if you have an enduring breath item, I mean, it's nice casual solo experience, I guess. But I'm going to pause this here real quick. Alright, I'm logged in. Now the first thing most people do is slash who when they're in the zone. I'm the only one in here. So let's see what's up. We got a warder and we got a page. So healer, dispel, I could feign death split it, but one-on-one, it's still kind of a tough fight. You gotta bash them and all that stuff, but that's neither here nor there. Everybody's got to figure it out. But like these rings, right? On my Necro, I showed you a camp that you could do at level 30 or before. If you have a couple friends, you could go down there. And, the Evil Eye guy is, well, the king or whatever is level 30. So a level 30 even con, maybe. Necro, I mean, it depends on what you have and if they resist. And, it's still. Those are probably easier than the ones in Runny Eye. I think the ones in Runny Eye are like level 34s or something. But this is a 20 hit point ring, right? I farmed this on Nagina with my Enchanter. So it's no different than what Cinecool's doing. Other than, okay, I knew it was in there. I knew I could do it, and I'd already leveled my Enchanter. Like, with, well, some help. But, I mean, you got to play the game, right? I mean, everybody's a stranger, but on my Necro, if I get level 34, I could go in there and probably solo that and camp it on the Necro rather than do it with a high level and get two 20 hit point rings. And then I got two 5 hit point rings to spare and throw in the bank or throw on somebody or hand to some struggling lobby that doesn't have nothing but a rusty sword and, a tunic from the guild leader, but that's what you start out with. Like, this game never gave you any plat or anything. I'm surprised they didn't start you out with like 3 or 4 plat, 5 plat, but I'm not telling them they have to. It's just part of the struggle of earning your money, I guess, like life or whatever. But I'll show you some of my gear. Like, I purchased this with this guy's money. I think I did give him 50 plat or something and, gear that I farmed on my Enchanter when I was leveling him, right? Because that stuff was experience. And Enchanters can solo, Necros can solo. The bad thing about a caster, Necros have it a little easier with Feign Death, but if you sit down and Runny Eye, I mean, it's like the Muddites. Like, if they would walk by me fighting stuff, and I knew that, but if I wanted to set down to med, they jump on me, so I just cleared them out. I don't want to. I mean, if someone wanted the ore and do their pottery, I mean, but that stuff gets heavy. But here's some of my gear. I wouldn't have this Kunzar cloak if I didn't have a high level in KC, doing a group on that character for some content. And I got this Kunzar cloak, so obviously I handed it to a Shadow Knight. Same with the Dwarf Log. Mantle, this is from Carnors. This is the Blackened Alloy Mail from Runny Eye, 16 AC. That's huge for a tank. Blackened Alloy Arm Plates, 9 AC. 8 AC, 5 Stam. This is all Runny Eye gear. This I got from a guildie. We were running some lobies. It's an Ebon Mace. That's level 50 stuff. Chardock, I think, like level 57. But I got these boots in the group. Those are nice boots. A caster could wear them. 10 hit points, 3 agility, 5 AC. So, some of this I bought in EC Tunnel because I had the money. I mean, Shadow Knights, as long as they got their spells every, 10 levels or something. I mean, spells are coming up. Well, save your money until you get them and then splurge a little. It makes it easier for me playing the character. But, that's huge. 3 strength, 20 hit points times 2. I wanted the Blackened Alloy leggings. I never got them to drop, so I gave up. It's pretty rare. I got some pieces to replace. I bought these, 50 mana, 5 dex, 10 AC. Those gloves, I mean, can't beat them. The bow, I like shooting a bow. It's easy to pull, save mana. This is from Mistmore. I soloed a yellow, which sometimes you can do, sometimes it goes horribly and you die a lot. But just to give you a run through, I think I'm pretty well geared, doing that. And it'll obviously get better. I mean, if I get some of that sentient armor from Awakening Lands, if the camp's open, I might go over there and clear out the camp for some XP. That stuff's dark blue to me. So it's not about being greedy. It's just like, well, if I need to go farm plat for, say, Velcator's spellbook, well, it would be cool if you got into a raid and earned DKP and it dropped and you got it. I mean, by now on a 7, 8 year old server, I mean, that's why some of that stuff's expensive. If nobody's doing that raid on, say, green where I'm at, they might be doing it on Quorum. It just depends on where you're at and what you want. I have no problem with the Hero's Journey or Quorum or Alkabar or any of the other servers at all. It's just like, all right, when I played on Quorum, I'm still excited about it. I mean, when the a mez that I had been using until whatever changes happened stopped working, I was like, well, it makes it useless to play like that because, well, I'd hit that spell hundreds of times doing the same thing. But maybe they didn't want you to solo, or they wanted to see what you would say, or maybe they do. Like, this dungeon goes up to level 50 stuff, so it was like a raid. Uh, by the time I came over here, it was usually somebody was backtracking quests because they wanted their epic or they wanted their epic 2.0. They never got to do their epic 1.0 because they were in a hurry to go raid somewhere else, or maybe they didn't know or they did know. The people that were ahead of the curve, ahead of me even then, gave us some of the people at work that where I worked got me into the game. So uh, just to point it out, but let's see if the client crashes. Because I may log on my enchanter for a bit. I've been doing rep and other stuff. I mean, I'm not going to record every little second of the game, but I don't sit here and play it a lot. I mean, if I sat down and play it, I could play it all day. If like today it was raining, but I was doing other stuff. Uh, Sometimes I just sit down and take a break. You got a wall of text at you. I could get into a Discord if, and on Quorum I did. I made some friends with some people there. Hey, it didn't crash. I don't like to talk over the music, so let me. Some of these characters on another server have the same name. I'm outside of Velks. There's somebody here. I've grouped with people in this guild before, so I have no problems with who I've grouped with on the guild. I try not to make waves, but I did want to look at my spell book because I know on my other enchanter, Zalkar, which is deleted, he was level 54. He had the Gad ring. He had most, like 5 or 6 pieces alone. Guy, when I first started, probably in the guild that I was in, Castle, might have handed me down his gear because he might have had Insidious or Raid gear or something better. But on this one, I went down. I did buy some of the pieces, but you might as well say I earned it because whoever, if someone else wanted it and it dropped, it's lure, so it's not like I could pick it up anyway. But if I didn't want the piece, then I would just pass on it. It's like we used to need and greed roll. But he said something about Glamour Kintas. Yep, I do have it. I should have been using that. So that's since I've only been charming up to level 51. Usually it's like, okay, if I do that, then I'm pretty confident, or I find out the hard way whether or not I could kill it or not. But just little things I have to refine, like because I'm only 54, so my best chance to charm or mez would be having the right spell on the bar. I was trying to compensate a little bit for saying, well, okay, if by the time I get a Tash off and they got something half health, then I'll incapacitate it or I'll do something else, which if you made it that far in the video, it's like you see me, the psychology of flipping through a book looking, going, all right, I need other spells that would be pertinent to a group. or me, like, my buffs, and, I have most of my main spells other than ones I swap in and out. Like some people do the top of the bar, they say it's faster than the bottom, but like these are my core spells. I'm going to have my Pacify, my Mez, my Tash. What order you do it in. Like sometimes you almost always want to Tash or debuff before you make a pet, but uh, when you get higher levels, sometimes you can get away with it. But if you're good at when it breaks and then doing it after, you could Mez. Like there's so many options that it almost breaks your brain. But once your group, like I don't want to sound like an expert, but it's like independent thinkers. It's like, all right, the group's going well. What do we need? The cleric's probably bored at times and stressing out at others, but I think it was a great group for just saying, hey, looking for a group, and it's like you want to join us. They probably figured, well, at least they would have a slower and some clarity. Maybe they know, maybe they don't, or they wanted to see how I would do. It's like you wonder what people think, but nobody complained really. But I got some loot out of it. I wanted to show you these boots. I think I have one piece of sentient arms or something. But here's the boots. So Shadow Knight speaking, the Cobalt boots, right? I could give them to my Necro or anybody, but 10 AC, 4 Strength, 4 Dex, 4 Agility, and all the saves. Now, because I have a 54, well, I earned that gear winning it in a greed roll in the group. Nobody needed it. This is the Translocate spell. So a wizard spell. Like I could sell that to somebody. I offered it to Cynicool just out of respect. If he's gonna do a series on leveling a wizard, I'm sure he'll probably get to level 50. There might be a level 50 that needs it. I don't know, but this is a rod that drops off those Holgrish. It casts force, so it's only for a whiz or a mage. So that would probably be good to them as a mana-free spell. Like a lot of people think characters are overpowered, but if you go get the clicky gear like the shaman with topors, once they get that, I mean, they're probably happy as hell. No, not much candy dancing, although they do that. Like I was on my Necro, I was pumping a shaman with, or no, it was on my SK, the shaman in the group. He was, cannibalizing his health for mana, kind of like a Necro or, well, a Necro mainly would do. And I was hitting him with my little 30 hit point heal thing, which on the Necro it's a heal over time. I think it heals for more. I use that on my pet, but a higher level Necro would do that with a different spell. I would have to look up what it's called, but I do have a rotation. You know, usually if I'm not charming a pet, a group situation would be all right. If it's a duo, I might have a pet, I might not. It depends on who I'm grouped with. Mages, their pets are strong as hell, so I go, well, if their pet can tank it, I'll debuff slow, C2, crowd control. We can line them up, root. It depends. I've ran into some situations where you have a higher level NPC that can't be mezzed. You might be able to stun it. It's a caster, and you can root it, but it's a caster, but you can't mez it. So you got to root it and run, or you know. So I'm kind of leveling my first 60 on here, and getting my gear. I need to go do J boots and stuff, but I don't know. This stuff might be worth some money. I need to look it up. Like I looted this, like a large brick of Velium. All right. I said a spell wasn't no big deal, but I can enchant Velium. So I don't know what that sells to a vendor for. I don't remember. I haven't checked. But what I can do is enchant it into a bar of Velium, and maybe I could sell that. And maybe that's worth more, because, you know, enchanters are handy like that. And I'm missing a bar of Velium. Isn't that a bar of Velium? Oh, that's a brick of Velium. Ugh. Sorry. I can enchant clay or something. I think that's a lower level spell. You buy that at the Brownie camp. Cynical was mentioning that Equestrious Unicorn. I had to duck into Mistmore one night, and then I went on a bit of a Mistmore killing spree, poking around like we all do, going, oh, if Isis is up, or Charista, or, the Advisor. Even though I don't need it, there might be some Lobie at the pond that's in a green robe or a starter robe, and it's like, oh, well, if I can go do it. But sometimes you want to be an Iskar. Now, in the whole, although I didn't get a group, I did buy this from a group that did it. It was 4,500 plat. That's the robe that drops in there. So if you want to see, I think I'm okay geared out. I'm not raid geared or anything, but not exactly a scrub, I guess, maybe by some standards. I farmed these in Unrest, 5 charisma. I remember talking to somebody that was killing Rivervale guards. You mind if I loot a 5 charisma ring? And they were like, yeah, go ahead, because they're lore. You can only pick up one. I don't think you can sell them, but just to go through stuff you would need. Like, I had sold I think I sold them to a player. I was going to give them to him, but they insisted on giving me 25 plat, I think is what I told them. I gave them a bunch of gear they were in fell with or something. And I was sitting there, what did I give them? Those disease rings that drops off Najina, those earrings. 5 to disease. Most people would say, oh, no big deal. But you know what? Fighting those zombies at that wizard thing when I was like level 12 or 14, the first thing a zombie's going to do is cast rabies or disease on you. So disease and resist and all that stuff, that's why I got my camera all. But see, that's what I was talking about, screen lag. I accidentally ran my mouse off the edge of the screen. But as far as Necro, the regen at higher levels. But I like the Dark Elf. It's min-maxer stuff. To each his own. You got to admit, if you see it is better or it isn't, I don't want to sound like an elitist. It's like, if your skill level, if you're like, some people would be intimidated. Like, I remember in World of Warcraft, if you want to talk about a different game, later on it was like gear score. Oh, if you didn't have all this gear, you couldn't do the thing. Well, all right. If you knew that up front, then it was different. You wouldn't join the group. Usually I look at the game like this. If these people are setting out in front of this dungeon, they're probably ready to go in that dungeon and give it their all. And if they find out the hard way, well, that's why there's a cleric standing here or somebody else, They're all looking for groups. They're probably like, oh, man, we need a chanter, you know. But enchanters can do fun stuff. We got our little rod, We can light up the room, right? But people argue over charisma. It does make a difference. 255 buffed, unbuffed, 234. Although I wanted more mana, or you switch in and out. It makes no difference. That's a heck of a buff. I think shamans do get a better haste, and I do know their slows better. My best one's 64%, which is nice. Almost overpowered, you would think, but when mobs quad hit you for 160 a whack. But anyway, I'm my own worst critic, right? So you guys have a good night and enjoy whatever you play, wherever you play. No hard feelings to nobody. If I meet you in game or you want a group, well, if you watch the channel, say something or not. I say it makes no difference. It makes a difference, but it doesn't. Everybody has their own goals in this, right? They want to earn their stuff, or they want to get it, or they'd like to do a group. Appropriate level or not, I mean, it's a comparison to what you could do if you wanted to do it, or what people probably already know. But again, it's a recreation of an older then game now, but it's still the same thing. Like with the Quorum, there's a lot of nice stuff. You could probably experience the game maybe a little faster. There's probably people that you can go to the bazaar and get gear that people have gotten in groups or other stuff. So there's a lot of perks to that too. I remember when we were missing out, so to speak, on passing up so much stuff that to this time around, to me, it's not a race to 60. So I don't want to give people the wrong impression. It's just my journey, and I'm recording it and talking about other people that are enjoying the same journey, I guess. So kudos to those folks. So have a good one.